This is my portfolio website, as you can see. Right now, before it's on production, and now it's live. I'm going to show you the full concepts of my new portfolio in this video. So enough talk, let's get right into this video. Quick story. Okay, so a couple of days ago, there were no uploads this week currently due to the fact that my new portfolio website is on production. But 20 minutes later, when I woke up this morning, in fact, it's now live, which now I can show you the finished product of my new portfolio website. So boom, here is my website now live, and we'll show you how I deploy my website in the production. So first of all, I've created my own domain link, which is known as mbsoftzen.me. That's the domain name I've created. And to get that domain name, I use this app called Spaceship, or you can look at other domain name websites. Link in bio in the description. Before I show you all my domain links, according to my calculations, 99% of you don't subscribe this video. What are you doing? Please make sure to hit a like and subscribe. Turn your notification bell so you don't miss a video. Let's get back into this video. So, I'm in this website called Spaceship, and now I'm going to search out any domain name. So, in here, there's an option for you to register or transfer your domain name. So, this one here, you could potentially register. So, I can call this name its domain for demonstration purposes. And now, in this website here, it suggested all the new names in this domain name that's available. So one here shows domain.domains is available, but the problem is £22 is slightly bit expensive. But there are other good value prices which have uh cheaper, which has a good value price instead of £20. And there are all other suggestions for you to, of course, look for, depending what type of domain that you wanted to include. So then once you found your domain name, you click on add to basket. So let's say if I click on that name, this domain store, it only costs 72 pence. It shows here that the basket has added, and now you can continue on your payment. So now this is this app called Domain, and this is Spaceship. Okay. Secondly, once I have created my own domain link from my website, from the app actually, which is Spaceship, I move on to the next application where I deploy my website using Vercel. So Vercel is a very powerful tool which helps me to build my application from there. So if you wanted to build up your application, you then click on add new and click on projects. And for your project, you want to select on something that is new. So for example, you wanted to select or clone a template. So you would obviously, let's say if it was a website or app that you made, you would you would clone any template. My template I used is from React. So then this was 3 days ago where I've, of course, deployed my application. So then if I click on import, as you can see here, I would create my new project, which is known as, I imported from uh, the branch, which is main, from the Git repository, and named it as MB Portfolio as my project name. So you click on project name, create your own project, and select as this. And the framework you use, most importantly, where it stands out. So if you're finding out your own framework, you would select, or in a Dropbox, you will scroll down and find out which frameworks you have been using. So if you're using, for example, React the app, then select that. Let's say, for example, Hugo. So Hugo is one framework where it's of course mandatory, but if you use one of these frameworks, then include that in your project. And for the root directory, you click on edit, and this is my root directory that I have. So it's on public and images. This is everything is like imported from my files. So then, yeah, so this is the build and output settings. So these are the commands. It will display out the commands for you using this app framework. So it's very versatile and easy, self-explanatory. So it's not too complicated. And you click on deploy once you have, of course, filled out your project. So click on deploy. So then your app, for example, will be able to deploy. So it's loading currently. Mine already been deployed. So this is a demonstration tool and a guide for you to remember when once you deploy your application. There we go. So now it's deployed already. So it took me like perhaps 30 seconds for it to deploy, but that's fine. So then click to continue to dashboard, or you would probably add the domain. So by the way, once you're onto your deployment page, you'll be able to edit your settings. So if you go to, for example, logs, so there's no logs today. So I think not logs. So to your settings, and yeah, and scroll down, find Git, and it shows that it's connected to the Git repository. So most importantly, in your application, it should be connected to your Git repository account, especially your GitHub. And you scroll down, it shows all the hooks that you have. So for example, it basically a deploy hook, it allows you to trigger a deployment of a given branch. So my hook was, of course, let's say that's MB soft send, and the branch is I've created is the main. So always create your branch as main, which I'm going to talk more about that in my next video, hopefully. And yeah, this is all the things that you need. So you click on domains, and it shows that it's now valid. And this is the domain app that it shows it gives by default. Okay. So if we click on firewall, and it shows the traffic where it allows, there are 28 course users in that website. That's allowed a request, by the way. So this is the firewall, not users, but to show that the systems aren't crashing. So yeah, this is my application so far. So if you click onto here, and it redirects you to the, of course, main homepage as well, without any issues. Afterwards, once your application is running, you could of course make few changes. So if I go to my Visual Studio Code and check to see if the application is running, obviously it is running, but we want to test out to see if it's updating. at the right time. So right now I'm on my Visual Studio Code, as you can see, and working on my contact page, and we would be able to enter a command. So for example, if we say type, if we could write as a if we can type as a property known as typography. So if we can just test this out. So let's put typography and we'll say this is my contact page list testing purposes. Just gonna put got a bottom. There we go. And let's once I am on to my terminal, I can go to git bash and would run this command. So then I'm going to enter this command, which is called git.add. And once it's added, I can just click on git commit m hyphen m uh my working change. And yeah, there we go. Now it's now updated. We could use this command, which is called mp run build. Okay, wait for it to load. So normally the building process will take about 3 minutes or two, depending how long the page is. First, if it was your first production page, then it would say it will take longer. But in your application, it it saves time. It's probably take about 1 minute. But yeah, right now it's building the application with the changes. So here are some of the commands I've been using, of course. So we'll let it wait and come back to it once it's now updated. Okay, so right now I'm back on my Vercel app so far, and now it shows that it's updating. And if I go to the contact me page, as you can see, it was meant to display, but there is some errors I'm going to fix out, but that's fine. So this is what the application looks like indeed. So here are all the tech stacks I've been using, of course. I might include Python as well, but only that's the missing part. But rest of it, here are all the applications that I've, of course, so far been integrating and developing. Finally, to conclude off, I'm going to wrap up this video today. If you enjoyed this video, please hit a like, turn your notification bell so I don't miss a video. Subscribe. This is your boy Sofsen. I'm out. Peace.